All right, welcome everyone to the 2019-2020 SDA annual meeting. We're excited that everybody's here. All of you have logged in as the chapter delegates, and our past presidents are logged in, and our SDA Canada affiliate. So be sure, I think we've got everybody squared around. And so without further ado, I'm pleased to introduce your SDA National President from the Dallas chapter, Brooke Simsick. Brooke.
Hey, thank you, Stephanie. And it is absolutely delightful to see everyone on the screen today. I would like to welcome you to our annual meeting. We would certainly have preferred to have our meeting in person. However, we are honored that so many of you have joined us virtually today. Normally during this time, we would recognize our PPC winners. However, since we canceled EDS 20 due to COVID-19, we weren't able to provide PPC scholarships this term. The good news is we can award them next year. Before we call the meeting to order, I'd like to mention a few key items. We will be using polling to vote, and only delegates should answer the polls, please. Also during the meeting, if you need to speak on business-related matters such as floor nominations or discussions for bylaw amendments, please type in the chat box RTS for request to speak. Stephanie will be monitoring the chat box for us. Also, please understand that during the annual meeting, general conversations are not permitted. We would greatly appreciate that. Also, the 51st annual meeting of the Board of Directors for SDA will please come to order. I am your president, Brooke Simsick of the Dallas chapter. Our annual meeting is the only opportunity for the Board of Directors to meet in one location for the sole purpose of conducting the business of SDA. It is asked that each delegate take seriously the business matters presented in this forum, discussing issues with deliberate, careful thought and speaking with respect for one another. An agenda was posted to the SDA National website prior to this meeting. Now I would like to introduce your executive committee. President-elect Karen Roman, FSDA of the Denver chapter. Vice President Marie Tamala, CDFA, Minneapolis-St. Paul chapter. Secretary Ann McNeely, CDFA, Denver chapter. Treasurer Marcia Witherspoon, CDFA, member at large. Past President Susan Lanke, CDFA, Hampton Roads chapter. And our Executive Director Stephanie Kirshner, FSDA. The annual report was posted to the SDA National website for download and review. Are there any questions regarding the annual report? The annual report will be filed. Secretary Ann McNeely, will you please call roll? Ann, you may be on mute.
Everybody is.
There you
Sorry,
go.
I thought I unmuted before I pulled it up.
So may I interrupt, please, Ann? Remember, she's going to actually call roll, so you will need to unmute your line if you're one of the delegates to acknowledge your presence, please.
And I am going to go a little bit slower to give everybody an opportunity to do the unmute and respond. So, Atlanta chapter.
Present.
Okay. Baton Rouge chapter.
Present.
SDA Dallas. SDA Dallas online.
Dallas, Sherry, present.
Okay. Denver chapter.
This is Jane, present.
SDA Hampton Roads.
Present.
SDA Houston.
Present.
SDA Minneapolis-St. Paul.
Present.
York.
Present.
SDA Northern California.
Present.
SDA Orange County.
Present.
SDA Orlando.
Present.
SDA Portland.
Present.
SDA San Antonio.
Present.
SDA San Diego.
Present.
SDA Seattle.
Present.
SDA Canada.
Present.
Past President Ellis.
Here.
Past President Gill.
Here.
Past President Hurd.
Here.
Past President Kirschner.
Present.
Past President Newman.
Here.
Past President Nicholas.
Here.
Past President Roman.
Here.
Past President Poland.
Present.
Past President Schultz.
Present.
Past President Wallace.
Present.
National President Simsick.
Present.
National President-elect Roman. She already said she was here.
I did again. Oh.
National Vice President Tamala.
Present.
National Secretary McNeely here. National Treasurer Witherspoon.
Present.
National Past President Director Lanky.
Present.
That concludes roll call.
Thank you, Ann. At this time, I'd like to introduce the 2020 Minutes Approval Committee. Please raise your hand when I call your name. Dana Sather, CDFA from the San Diego chapter, is the chair. The committee members are Elena Gutierrez, New York chapter, Myla Ruth Smith, CDFA Atlanta chapter. The Minutes Approval Committee is responsible for taking notes, comparing the notes with the minutes submitted to them by the National Secretary, making corrections if necessary, and writing a letter stating that they concur with the minutes. This letter will be mailed to the seating national president for inclusion in next year's business meeting, with a copy mailed to the secretary. As this meeting is being held virtually, our executive director will serve as the teller's chair. Should there be a nomination from the floor, an online vote will be required. This committee will then supervise the processing of ballots and petitions, receive and tally those votes, and report those results to the presiding officer. Also, as this meeting is being held virtually, our executive director will serve as the credentials chair. It is important to note that only delegates will vote during the polls. If you are not a delegate, please do not vote. This chairperson's sole purpose is signing in the voting members, which are active chapters, SDA Canada representative, executive committee members, the active past presidents, and totaling all the possible votes to ensure that a quorum is established for the upcoming vote. Will our executive director please present the credentials report?
Credentials have been received and are in order for 15 active chapters, 1 SDA Canada representative, 6 executive committee members, 11 active past national presidents, for a total of 33 possible votes. I move to accept the credentials report.
Thank you, Stephanie. This does not require a second, as it is being submitted by a committee. Is there any discussion? If so, remember to type RTS in the chat box if you need to discuss anything. If there is no discussion, the credentials report will be accepted by acclamation. The bylaws of SDA stipulate that a quorum is established from the voting strength present. Therefore, we have a quorum for the upcoming vote, unless one more than half of the voting members present leave the meeting prior to a vote, voting on all proposed business. The annual business meeting rules were published on the SDA website prior to today's meeting. Does any member request that these rules be read aloud? If so, please type RTS in the chat box. With no discussion, the secretary will move immediately for the adoption of the convention rules.
I move for the adoption of the annual business meeting rules.
Second.
Thank you, Karen.
I'm sorry.
Is there any discussion? If so, please type RTS in the chat box. With no discussion, the annual business meeting rules will be adopted by acclamation. The agenda was posted to the SDA national website prior to this meeting. Secretary Ann McNeely, do you have any changes to the agenda?
There are no changes to the agenda.
Is there any discussion of the agenda? The agenda will be adopted by general consent. No vote is required. Will Secretary Ann McNeely please read the June 2019 minutes approval letter?
The minutes approval letter was addressed to Ms. Susan Lanke, CDFA SDA National President. Dear Susan, the National Minutes Approval Committee has reviewed the minutes for the annual business meeting, which took place on Saturday, May 18th, 2019, in Spokane, Washington. On behalf of the committee, we find them in order and no need of correction. If you have any questions, please do not hesitate to contact me. Respectfully submitted, Nyla Smith, member of the 2019 SDA National Minutes Approval Committee. A copy went to Stephanie Kirshner as National Executive Director and Marie Tamala as National Secretary.
Thank you, Ann. During the last 12 months, the Executive Committee met by teleconference monthly and as necessary for pressing issues. Will Secretary Ann McNeely present a summary of the ratifications of prior actions of the Executive Committee taken during the last year?
The following actions were ratified during the 2019-2020 term. On June 14th, 2019, national dues increase effective October 1, 2019. On June 27th, 2019, the acceptance of the contract for the Renaissance Hotel in Asheville, North Carolina. On October 30th, 2019, the new Code of Ethics and Professionalism. On November 15th, 2019, the revised chapter affiliation agreement. On November 20th, 2019, the emeritus application for Drusilla Brookshire, CDFA. On December 2nd, 2019, the 2020 budget. On January 29th, 2020, the EDS 2020 budget. On January 29th, 2020, the EDS 2021 hotel contract. On January 29th, 2020, the KOS CPA engagement letter. On January 29th, 2020, the SLK management year-end bonus. On January 29th, 2020, the emeritus application for Ross Barrow. On March 18th, 2020, the SDA PPC Foundation Memorandum of Understanding. Those were the items ratified for 2019-2020 term.
Thank you, Ann. The summary will be filed. All members of the Board of Directors have been notified of the publication of the annual reports on the governance section of the SDA website under Member Center. Also found on the website in the same location are chapter annual reports. Do any of the officers, committee chairs, or chapters have updates to the reports? If so, please type RTS in the request to speak in the chat box so that you can be recognized. If you have any updates, you will need to send a copy of the updated report to the secretary. The annual report includes summarized information from all committees. The annual report from our foundation, Construction Inc., will be on the national website as soon as it is received. Is there any discussion regarding any of the reports? The annual reports will be filed. Now we will move to highlights of the 2019-2020 term. All right, welcome everyone to the 51st annual meeting, and thank you again for joining us today. While we are not in person, it is super great seeing all of you here with us. On this next slide, you will see the agenda for this portion of today's meeting. I have to say before we start, even in the face of adversity, we still had a great year. Yes, COVID-19 presented a few challenges, mainly having to cancel EDS 20. It also put a lot of strain on our members having to work from home. Still yet, you, our members, your firms, and our organization keeps moving forward. On the screen, you can see a few of our selected successes. 2020 class of SDA Fellows, EdConnect 19. We expanded our reach and enhanced our brand. We provided 24.5 hours of national educational opportunities, which includes EdConnect. We did an Educational Services Committee survey. We developed a large firm principal campaign. We developed a Best in Class Awards, CDFA resource guides, and major updates. The development of the CDFA marathon training. And there were 482 downloads from e-learning programs. These and much more are outlined in our annual report that you can download from the national website. And before we move forward, I would like to express our sincere gratitude to all of our national committee chairs and members. This year, they have worked successfully together as individual teams and across teams. And I cannot overstate the importance and value that their contributions bring to SDA. What they accomplish takes hours of efforts, and congratulations to all of your successes. Okay, our first stop today will be education. Everyone knows that education is at the heart of our mission, and we had a lofty goal of 45 hours this term. Typically, at least half of these hours are obtained through EDS, and due to COVID-19 cancellation, we lost those hours. However, we still accomplished 24.5 hours. This is more than the 18 required hours for CDFAs, and by many measures is a success all by itself. All the programs are listed in the timeline of our annual report, so again, be sure to learn more about SDA and read the full report. In October of 2019, EdConnect 19 provided 8 hours of education over 3 days. If you are not familiar with EdConnect, it offers our members the ability to attend a virtual conference within their office and share it with their coworkers. This is specifically beneficial to members at large as they do not have access to local chapter programs. To continue with our other educational highlights, we had a total of 482 downloads of e-learning programs. This includes the 69 downloads for steps to becoming a certified design firm administrator. Most of these were part of the Administrative Professionals Month of Gifting, which started back in April of this year. Again, in April of this year, the Education Services Committee sent out a survey assessing the diverse educational needs of our membership. ExCom reviewed the survey, and headquarters plans to design our programs for the upcoming term targeted to the results of the survey when possible. Responding to the COVID-19 pandemic, SDA also created a COVID-19 resource page that is available to our members on the national website. Also, the National Education Services Committee created quizzes for national webinars, and 6 were completed this last term. SDA's business track is designed for emerging professionals looking to demonstrate their knowledge in practice management and anyone interested in advancing their careers into firm management. SDA National offers a half-day or a full-day format. This term, SDA presented a business track in Spokane and Seattle. Now to Marie to discuss membership.
Thanks, Brooke. Our SDA membership numbers remain consistent, and unfortunately, we did not meet our 25% yearly increase goal. Our retention rate fell below 80% at 75.5% for the term. Unfortunately, this has been a trend for the last several years. We do take membership retention and growth very seriously and are continuously looking for ways to add value to our members and help increase our membership numbers. On a positive note, we did have 96 new members in 2019. Just to mention some other highlights from this past term, our membership committee created tip sheets as lead magnets, produced 30, 60, and 90-day touchpoint email messages for our new members, as well as 5 prospect campaigns. In addition, ExCom, headquarters, and the Public Relations Committee developed a large firm principal campaign entitled Secure Your Firm's Success After COVID-19. Through a variety of national committee opportunities and ExCom, SDA continuously provides leadership exposure. Our organization excels in membership recognition and keeps the awards committee very busy. We have the Star Award, Best in Class Awards, Lifetime Achievement Award, and GEM Awards. And as of 2019, the esteemed designation of Fellows began. 2018, I believe. More on this later, however. Sorry for that. Communications has been terrific. Kudos, 5 stars. Weekly e-blasts, officer bulletins, monthly blogs, social link, virtual roundtable discussions, monthly chapter communications, and the topping on the cake, the fabulous way our PR committee has been adeptly able to weave everything together. More on our PR committee in just a bit. And now to continue on with the highlights of our certification committee this past term, I will send it back to Brooke. Thank you.
Thank you. The strategic plan calls for increasing the number of CDFAs by 10% each year. And we added 8 CDFAs this term, giving us a total of 110. This contributed to a 7.8% increase. In addition, there are 16 potential candidates to either take or retake their exam now. Within the near future, we could see our percentage of new CDFAs increase considerably. As we mentioned before, we had 69 requests for the recording of steps to becoming a certified design firm administrator. So we can easily see that certification is important to our members and their firms. The certification committee excelled this year with multiple in-depth resource guides, updates, creating a CDFA marathon training, revising test questions, and ladies and gentlemen, this is hours of effort. They truly deserve a big round of applause and much appreciation. Speaking of CDFAs, congratulations are in order for our 8 new CDFAs that you see on the screen. We had 4 from Atlanta, 1 from Hampton Roads, a member at large, and 2 from Seattle. It is wonderful to see this list expand each year. So now let's take a look at brand awareness, as this too is part of our strategic plan for the year. The 2019-20 term was a stellar year for SDA's brand awareness. The Public Relations Committee posted weekly to social media platforms promoting national webinars, virtual meetings, roundtable topics. They shared critical committee communications, and they welcomed new members. And one of my favorites, they posted Monday quotes. They recognized National Volunteer Week, Administrative Professionals Day, presented tips and tricks, and a variety of other posts frequently. So what did this do for us? Well, let's take a look at these numbers. We had an 8% growth in average page views on Facebook. SDA went from 2 to 105 followers on Instagram, a 19% growth in followers on LinkedIn, and a tremendous 73% growth in followers on Twitter. This is a measurable and significant way to expand our reach and enhance our presence. And this is also hours of efforts, and creating beautiful images and posting them to social media was just a taste of what the PR committee accomplished. They helped maintain and protect the SDA brand across the nation. They did an audit review of chapters, usage of the new brand, created resources and tools to support the image in a positive manner, and they regularly provide graphic and design support to National. We cannot sing their praises enough, and they all should be very proud of their accomplishments. Next, you will see a few of their most popular posts that Fran Carrillo, the co-chair, shared with us. These were done on social media. So far, so good, right? And guys, we still have more to come. For the esteemed designation of fellows, we added 3 new fellows this term. Elizabeth Harris, FSDA, Sabrina Hurd, FSDA, and Stephanie Kirshner, FSDA. Congratulations, ladies. Now I will hand it over to Marcia and she will cover our financials.
Thank you, Brooke. Good afternoon, everyone. This slide shows our income and expenses for the year. We have 2 sources of revenue, member dues and non-dues revenue. Our dues revenue for 2019 was $90,228, while our non-dues revenue was $93,170. Our total revenue for the year was $183,398. Our dues revenue is down 3.39% when compared to the prior year. We remain optimistic this number will improve as current members renew and our efforts to recruit new members bear fruit. Our sources of non-dues revenue include EdConnect, our certification program, business track workshops, firm sponsorships and grants, audio seminars, and the website Job Bank. Our expenses for 2019 were $183,945. These expenses include program services, administrative costs, committee expenses, and ExCom meetings and travel. Although our expenses exceeded our revenues by $547 for 2019, we can thank our boards of directors for their continuing diligence in focusing on cost control of our expenses and their non-dues revenue efforts. SDA's year-end receipts for 2019 was a negative $547. We had a total of $93,170 in non-dues revenues. This is a 2.67% increase over the non-dues revenue total for the 2018-2019 fiscal year. Sources of this revenue are listed on the right of the slide. Now back to Brooke for sponsorships.
Thank you, Marcia. At this time, we would like to thank our firm sponsors over the last year. And we don't have a lot, however, we are honored to have the support of the ones that we do have. If your firm would like to become an SDA sponsor, please reach out to headquarters, or there is a form on the national website as well. Our business partners and strategic alliances are a big part of keeping us in front of the industry, and the exchange of information helps keep our members informed, and we appreciate all of these relationships very much. All right, this concludes our highlights for the 2019-2020 year. ExCom would like to express our sincere gratitude to all that have helped us make it such a great year. We will return to the annual meeting and start back up with the introductions of the 2019 nominating committee. So now I would like to introduce the 2019 nominating committee. Susan Lanke, CDFA from the Hampton Roads chapter, is the chair. The committee members are Jen Grant, CDFA, Atlanta chapter, Kara Miller, San Diego chapter, Emily Myers, CDFA, Seattle chapter. Ex officio members are Karen Roman, FSDA, Denver chapter, and Stephanie Kirshner, FSDA. This committee is charged with actively seeking at least one candidate for each elective office, determining their eligibility, and presenting a report of their accomplishments. Will the chair please read the nominating committee report?
Hey everyone. The nominating committee met by conference call 3 times between the months of October 2019 and January of 2020 to identify and review the qualifications of prospective executive committee members. Prospective candidates were contacted by members of the committee, and upon their acceptance of nomination, they each provided a national office candidate application and SDA candidate philosophy statement. These were posted to the national website, and the candidates were announced to the membership.
Thank you, Susan. Nominations from the floor are now open. For the office of treasurer, Penny Nelson, CDFA, Orange County chapter, has been nominated. Are there any nominations from the floor for treasurer? For the office of secretary, Ann McNeely, CDFA of the Denver chapter, has been nominated. Are there any nominations from the floor for secretary? For the office of vice president, Kim Salenza, New York chapter, has been nominated. Are there any nominations from the floor for vice president? Excuse me. For the office of president-elect, Marie Tamala, CDFA, Minneapolis, St. Paul chapter, has been nominated. Are there any nominations from the floor for president-elect? All right, the executive director will act as timer for the 3-minute candidate addresses. Will the nominating chair please present the candidates?
All right, first will be treasurer Penny Nelson, CDFA from the Orange County chapter.
All right. This is my first time giving a candidate speech. When I started thinking about writing this speech, I was totally intimidated. I've always been inspired by past leaders who have given heartfelt speeches about their experiences with SDA and their hopes for its future. We have had amazing, eloquent, and gifted members who have led SDA so successfully and frankly have left pretty big shoes to fill. So what I wanted to communicate to you today was my passion for SDA. From my first Orange County chapter seminar to today, SDA has been an essential part of my life for over 10 years. The incredible educational opportunities and resources of SDA have served as my postgraduate university, helping me to grow not only in my career, but personally as well. What I learned in my early years of SDA prepared me to tackle setting up the administrative and administrative and operational functions of a brand new architectural practice. What I've learned since then has helped me to continuing to move that practice forward. The Ed Symposiums, so missed greatly this year, have broadened my horizons by inviting me to cities that I might not otherwise have visited. Those past conferences were so full of education and so fun, and gave me an opportunity to create an incredible network of wonderful friends and valuable mentors. My first Ed Symposium was in Portland, Oregon in 2012, my hometown, by the way, when Karen Roman was president. I remember being so impressed with Karen's professionalism, intelligence, and poise. I'm so thrilled that I have the pleasure to now serve on ExCom with her as she again takes on that role. If someone had told me back then that I'd be serving alongside her in the future, I probably would have just laughed them off. But I should have known myself a little better than that. When I'm part of an organization, be it Cub Scouts, high school booster clubs, a boating club my husband and I belong to, or my local SDA chapter, I've always been one to just jump in to lend a hand whenever I saw a need. It's just in my DNA. I can't sit back and do nothing in return. I love investing my time and energy in things that I care about, and I enjoy seeing the organization succeed and find satisfaction in knowing that in some small part, I had a help in that. That's why I'm here today and why I'm excited about becoming the National Treasurer. I want to lend a hand. I want to make an impact, and I want to help our members and our organization grow and thrive. I want to help guide SDA through these crazy and turbulent times, and I certainly look forward to us emerging from this crisis stronger and more valuable than ever. Thank you.
Yay.
Thank you, Penny. Next up will be Secretary Ann McNeely, CDFA, Denver chapter.
Hi, everyone. So this is me coming from my house in Aurora, Colorado. I was really looking forward to seeing everybody in person, but I'm happy to have so many take part in this year's virtual meeting. And I want to thank you all for allowing me the opportunity to serve as National Secretary these past 12 months. It was my first time on ExCom, something I'd been terrified to do for years, and then I convinced myself that I could never do it. There was just no way. Well, now I'm here this year, and I'm looking forward to doing it again. So let me tell you why. I reached out to Marie at the onset last year about how to succeed in this role. And there was a lot of writing and a lot of base camp conversations. At her suggestion, I came in about a half an hour early each day, or stayed a half an hour late. I wrote articles on the weekends, and I made phone calls and sent emails during the lunch hour. And I figured out really quickly that the commitment to serve as an officer isn't about participating on a regular monthly phone call. It's not even close to that. I found it to be just a continual nonstop outreach to support our membership. So whether a member is in a chapter or whether they're a member at large, we're all the organization. We make up SDA. So as National Secretary, I will continue to focus on strengthening the organization from the inside out. I want our members to receive the most value out of their membership, same way that I'm finding that value out of mine. We'll continue to work towards pushing SDA forward, and I will aim to promote the benefits and the resources that are either overlooked or underutilized. No one could have predicted the COVID-19 pandemic, and I'm sorry we can't be face-to-face today, but I think as an organization, we've gotten so much closer through these virtual connections, and I think that is just kind of a blessing in disguise. We've really come together when it's mattered the most as an organization. And it is our duty to mentor and encourage and uplift our members. We're a huge network of collective resources and information and support, and I am absolutely honored to further our mission in this effort. Thank you.
Thank you, Anne. Next up will be Vice President Kim Salenza from the New York chapter.
Hi, everyone. I'm Kim Salenza. I'm currently serving my third and final term as president of the New York chapter. So I want to start this off by thanking some very special people. The New York Board of Directors, Pat Layden, Amy Nanny, Jennifer Green, Peggy McGrath, Kelly Logren, and Elena Gutierrez for their unwavering support, guidance, and inspiration. You are only ever as strong as your team, and these women are a force. They inspire me every single day, both personally and professionally. When I joined the SDA in 2014, I've been debating back and forth between SDA and SNPS. What drew me into the SDA, well, aside from an espresso machine for the second floor from Peggy McGrath, was its all-inclusive nature. For almost 2 decades of my professional career, I have been in the AEC industry, and during that time, I have held a number of different positions. Everything from administrative assistant, human resources, operations, finance, and my current role as a marketing manager. I've loved each and every one of these positions, and I utilize all the skills and lessons I've learned in my current role as a marketing manager for Perkins Eastman. I also realize that you should never stop learning or growing in your career, and I appreciate the broad base of knowledge that I continue to acquire as part of the SDA. It's definitely helped me grow in my career since joining. I became an associate, a manager, and a leader both in my firm, in my local chapter, and now as part of ExCom. With a broad knowledge of the AEC industry, leadership skills I have learned and honed while being the New York chapter president, a diplomatic sense of problem solving, and a genuine love of communicating, connecting with people, accepting the position of SDA National Vice President is the next step on what is an incredible journey thus far. As Vice President, my main focus will be membership. And as we enter into a post-COVID world and into whatever the new normal will be. If there was ever a cause for the SDA to champion, I don't think that I could think of one I would want to do more, and that would be more important. In addition to making it my goal to increase membership, by doing so, I would also make it my goal to increase SDA visibility on a national level and bringing light to the amazing well of information resources pulled together by many people of this tremendous organization of experts. We are facing a number of challenges now due to the COVID pandemic. However, it showed us all what we are made of. We overcome so many obstacles thus far together as a national organization, as a solid team, respectfully and collaboratively from all over the country. That in of itself is inspiring. And I've never been prouder to be a part of this organization than I am right now. In closing, I want to give a special thank you to Stephanie Kirshner, Brooke Simonek, and Susan Lenke for inspiring me to start this journey on ExCom, encouraging me to venture out of my comfort zone, and for believing that I can. So to Karen Roman, Penny Nelson, Ann McNeely, Marie Tomala, Stephanie Kirshner, Brooke Simonek, I am deeply honored and humbled to have the opportunity to serve the 2020-2021 term with all of you.
Thank you, Kim. Our last candidate speech will be from President-elect Marie Tamala, CDFA, from the Minneapolis-St. Paul chapter.
Thank you, Susan. And thanks to SDA for providing me this opportunity. Wow, it seems strange to be speaking in front of my computer screen today. These are truly unprecedented times we are living in. Thank you all for taking the time to be here with us today in this virtual meeting setting. As I was thinking about what I would say today, I took some time and looked back at some of the rich history of SDA, which goes back to 1959 in Miami, Florida, when SDA was the Architectural Secretaries Association, Inc. At that time, the group's motto was amiability, sincerity, and assiduity. Assiduity. I had to look that one up. It means constant or close attention to what one is doing. Synonyms are persistence, determination, perseverance, doggedness, tenaciousness, and strength of purpose. These are some very powerful words. Indeed, these are some great words to take to heart as we move this exciting SDA team forward this next year. We are all finding ourselves within a new normal these days, in one way or another. Our working environment has changed, but no doubt many of us have become new experts at using virtual platforms like Zoom that we are using today. We've persisted through IT hiccups, dogs barking, children demanding attention at the worst times during the day, and fatigue from 9 or 10 hours of screen time, and that's just during the workday. Yes, yet those words from 1959 are so appropriate for us today as we navigate through our work from home reality and what will become our new normal. We can take our newfound skills and band together as a national organization to become even more determined than ever. We are closer, and I, for one, find it easier than ever to pick up the phone and call Kelly in New York, or Brooke in Dallas, or Penny on the boat in Orange County, or Kay over on the other side of Minneapolis from where I live. Let's work together more than ever this year, equipped with our newfound virtual skills and the reminder of the words our organization has lived by since 1959 and continues that still hold true today. I look forward to working with each and every one of you this next year with my newly energized persistence, perseverance, doggedness, tenaciousness, and assiduity. Thank you.
Thanks, Marie. Now we're back to Brooke.
All right. Do you all accept? Excuse me, sorry. Our president will be Karen Roman, FSDA, and I will serve as past president director. Do you all accept these positions? Yes.
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 Thank you. You will assume your duties immediately after this meeting is adjourned. I am the chair of the nominating committee. Committee members are Robin Jarrell, Atlanta chapter, Kelly Loughran, New York chapter, Marie Tamala, CDFA, and Stephanie Kirshner, FSDA, will serve as non-voting ex officio members. All right, we will now move to bylaws. Proposed amendments with 45 days advance notice require a 2/3% vote. Any other amendments proposed after that date will require a 3/4% vote. Will the bylaws chair, Betsy Nicholas, please present and read the proposed bylaw amendments 2020.1.
Thank you, Brooke. Proposed bylaw amendment 2020.1 regarding the Code of Ethics. The current wording in section 6.2 governance, the words standards and Code of Ethics are replaced with Code of Ethics and professionalism. In section 6.6, ethics and standards of conduct are replaced with Code of Ethics and professionalism. And under violations, 6.6.2, a chapter member believed to be in violation of the ethics and standards of the organization are first investigated by the chapter board of directors in accordance with Robert's Rules of Orders. Then the violation is to be communicated to the National Executive Committee, outlining the violation and the action, if any, taken by the chapter board of directors. If no action is taken by the chapter and the National Executive Committee deems the violation egregious, including theft, slander, libel, or other similar actions, the National Executive Committee may, with a vote, determine action to be taken regarding the violation. The decisions of the National Executive Committee in accordance therewith shall prevail. I vote for the adoption of Bylaws Amendment 2020.1.
Is there a second?
This is Susan. I'll second.
Thank you, Susan. Discussion is now open on the adoption of the proposed bylaws amendment 2020.1. To be recognized for discussion, please type RTS in the chat box. Okay. The question is on the adoption of proposed bylaws amendment 2020.1. Remember, only delegates should vote. All in favor, please select yes on the poll vote. All opposed, please select no on the poll vote. Our executive director will announce the results of the vote.
Okay, Brooke, I'm going to launch the poll in just a moment. I have a correction for everyone. When I said the credentials numbers, there are only 10 past presidents. My apologies for that error. So there will be should be a total of 32 votes. Also, because Karen is the current national president-elect, and Karen is also a past national president, you all may only see a total of 31 votes show up on the poll. So let me launch the poll. If you're in favor, so shall propose, excuse me, shall proposed bylaw amendment 2020.1 be approved. Vote yes if you are a delegate, yes if you're in favor, no if you are not. If you would do that now. And I believe,
Yes.
Kay Blanchard, if you're not on the screen, we will need to hear your vote as well.
Come on. You're hearing the feedback.
And I can't vote, so there'll be one.
Stephanie, I'm
Yes.
on the screen. I was able to vote. This is Kay.
Okay. So,
Thank you.
all right. All right. So I'm going to end the polling and I will share the results. Brooke, approval is unanimous.
Okay.
Bylaws amendment number 2020.1 is approved. Betsy, please read the proposed bylaws amendment 2020.2.
Proposed bylaw amendment 2020.2 is a housekeeping bylaw in which we replace society with SDA or organization as a result of the new branding efforts of SDA. So therefore, in section 6.6, ethics and standards of conduct, each member agrees to abide by the word society is replaced with SDA's articles of incorporation, bylaws, and standing rules. In section 12.2.2 under dissolution, upon dissolution of the chapter, any funds or other assets remaining after payment of all obligation to the society, word is being replaced with organization. And under standing rules, paragraph J, committees, certification committee responsibilities shall be as required to administer the organization's certification program rather than society. I move for the adoption of bylaws amendment 2020.2.
Is there a second?
Brooke, this is Marcia. I second.
Thank you, Marcia. Discussion is now open on the adoption of the proposed bylaws amendment 2020.2. To be recognized, please type RTS in the chat box. The question is on the adoption of proposed bylaws amendment number 2020.2. All in favor, please select yes on the poll vote. All opposed, please select no in the poll vote. Our executive director will announce the results of the vote.
Mine is having a hard time sticking. There we go.
Okay. Now we'll share the results.
Bylaws amendment number 2020.2 is approved. Betsy, please read the proposed bylaws amendment 2020.3.
Proposed bylaw amendment 2020.3, member at large. The classification of national members currently reads as professional, associate, and member at large. It's being revised to delete the member at large paragraph in its entirety, or member at large description in its entirety, and instead under professional and associate members, it indicates that those may be a member of an existing chapter or a member at large, and they pay national dues and chapter dues when applicable. The reason is that member at large is a dues category, not a membership category. I vote for the adoption of bylaws amendment 2020.3.
Is there a second?
This is Marie. I second.
Thank you, Marie. Discussion is now open on the adoption of proposed bylaws amendment 2020.3. To be recognized, please type RTS in the chat box. The question is on the adoption of proposed bylaws amendment number 2020.3. All in favor, please select yes on the poll vote. All opposed, please select no on the poll vote. Our executive director will announce the results of the vote.
Uh, 2020.3 is approved unanimously.
Awesome.
All right, bylaws amendment 2020.3 is approved. Thank you, Betsy.
Thank you.
Are there any amendments from the floor? Is there any unfinished business? Guys, I'm going to have to say there is a little bit of unfinished business, and you're going to have to just sue me later. When we went to the election of the national officers, I was so entranced by your speeches that I skipped over the discussion and the acclamation and the final presentation. So if you don't mind, let's do that really quick so we know that this is completely official. As there are no additional nominations from the floor, we have a single slate of candidates for the election, and the nominees will be presented on one ballot. Is there any discussion? All right, the national officers have been elected by acclamation, and I am pleased to announce the following officers for 2020-2021. Treasurer Penny Nelson, CDFA. Secretary Ann McNeely, CDFA. Vice President Kim Salenza. President-elect Marie Tamala, CDFA. President Karen Roman, FSDA, and I will serve as the past president and director. Now let's do this once again. Do you accept these positions?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you. We will all assume your duties immediately after this meeting. All right, is there any new business? All right, the 51st annual meeting of SDA is adjourned. All right, is this where we're going to take a second break? Are we going to do it after we do the awards?
I was planning to just go straight on through and just switch screens if you're okay with that.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Got to hold out a little bit longer, everybody. Hold on. All right, let me start this slideshow. Wait a minute. If I could drive, it would be good. Zoom and I just don't get along every time. Wait a minute. Share screen. There we go. I'm so excited to get you in here. All right, there we go. All right, Brooke, I think you're up again.
Thank you. Welcome everyone to SDA's 51st Annual Awards Celebration and Officer Installation. The annual meeting went by pretty fast, so now we can get to the fun stuff. While we are not sharing the same room together this year, dressed up, sharing hugs and laughter, we can still share a smile and sense of gratitude and appreciation for all that we have accomplished over the last year, even if we do so virtually. Over the last few weeks, I have seen numerous Facebook posts between SDA members sharing memories of past Ed Symposiums. These are memories most of us will cherish throughout our careers, and we can look forward to many more in-person conferences. If our world changes so drastically that we cannot, then we will do what we do best. We will adapt, overcome, and find new and wonderful ways to come together. For now, let us hope that a new tomorrow brings us together in person next year. So let's give each other a grand smile and let's begin. We would like to take a few minutes and announce the 2019 International Construction Award winners. Stephanie Kirshner is one of our SDA board members for Construction International, where she serves as the National Vice President. Stephanie, will you please announce the Construction Awards?
Thank you, Brooke. So these are the International Construction Awards for 2019. As you all may recall, or if you're involved locally, construction is now on a calendar year. So we're sort of on a term year, but construction is on a calendar year. So these are the 2019 award winners. Let's start off with structural ingenuity. First place went to Cantonary out of Chicago, Construction Chicago. I love this one. I'm also going to show you the runners-up in each category. So these were the structural ingenuity runner-ups. Runners, it should say, I fixed that slide. They'll probably all say runners-up. It's runners-up. Anyway, so second place went to out of New York, Construction New York, Pelly Clark Pelly. There's one out of third place went to Construction Calgary. Fourth place, Construction Orange County, way to go. And then fifth place, Canick and Skywalker out of Construction Lexington. So congratulations to our structural winners. Best original design, there's a can in my boot, Construction Orange County. You guys are rocking it. Runners up include Spider-Man to the Rescue out of Dallas, Delicate Balance out of New York. I'm partially favor, I love the ballet slippers personally. Declaring a War on Hunger to Construction Charleston, and If You Give a Mouse a Meal from Construction Cincinnati, my hometown. Next up is Best Meal. First place went to Construction Atlanta and Gensler, Atlanta. I love that one. I love them all. Runners up include Many Cans Make Light Work, Construction Toronto. Giving is in Our DNA for Construction Jackson. Don't Let Hunger Drag On by Construction in New York City. And This Way to Platform 9 3/4, Construction Madison. Just some amazing structures. Best use of labels, we can show you the world, the construction capital region, and a salute to Aladdin. Runners-up include Unican End Hunger, Construction Orange County. Where in the World is Carmen Candiego from Construction Boston. We Believe in You from Construction Arlington, and Hunger is No Joke, Construction Jackson. Most cans, 26,000 cans came out of Hammering Out Hunger out of Chicago. Love that one. Lots of food going to the local food banks. These are our runners-up: Capital Region, Phoenix, Construction Sarnia, and Construction Orlando. A lot of our chapters well represented in chapter cities. And then first place for the People's Choice Award. This is not selected by the jury. This is really just a popular vote, as most of you, if you're involved in construction, know that. The winner, how do you get your best votes and get people involved? So Construction Capital Region, Monsters, Inc. was our winner. Runners-up included Buzz Lightyear to the Rescue out of Atlanta, Snapping Back Humanity from Construction Long Island, Jafar, He's Our Man, If He Can't Do It, We Can, Construction Rochester, and Illuminating Hope from Construction Fort Worth. I think I speak on behalf of the entire International Construction Board. Deborah Gill is also one of our esteemed members, serving as our national treasurer. There's a lot of great things happening here, and thanks to everyone who continues to participate and engage with us. And we look forward to seeing you next year. Back to you, Brooke.
Hey, thank you, Stephanie, and congratulations to all the winners. Now, this is the third year for the esteemed SDA's Fellow Program. The chair of the Fellows, Sarah Wallace, will you introduce our newest class?
Thank you, Brooke. The SDA Fellows Program recognizes individuals who've made a significant contribution to SDA, the AEC community, and who have made a difference in excellence in design firm management. The Fellows were honored to announce the following 3 members as part of the 2020 class of Fellows: Elizabeth Liz Harris, FSDA, Sabrina Hurd, FSDA, and Stephanie Kirschner, FSDA. This accomplishment recognizes years of contributions, not just to SDA, but to the industry as a whole. As such, their investiture will be conducted in person at the next Ed Symposium, but we wanted to recognize each and tell you a little bit more about our new class of fellows during our virtual meeting today. Liz Harris, FSDA, is the firm administrator for Kevin Harris Architect, LLC. She's been with her present company for 25 years. She founded the Baton Rouge SDA chapter and was a member of the certification task force and a vital part of the rebranding task force, and has served as author and editor of several publications. Endorsements accompanying her application said, "A force to be reckoned with." The jurors noted, "It is evident that she is passionate about SDA and the many other organizations in which she is involved. Her humble servant leadership style and passion for helping others is truly at the heart of what being named a fellow represents." We are honored to recognize Liz Harris, FSDA, Class of 2020. Sabrina Hurd, FSDA, is an associate with Randall Paulson Architects and has steadily risen within her organization over the past 17 years, and also serves as her firm's IDP advisor. Sabrina has been national president and Atlanta chapter president and chair of the Eastern States Conference in 2008. She developed the e-learning portal for SDA's learning tools on the website and served for 3 years on NCARB's Experience Advisory Committee and Strategic Force Group. She has also been a role model and mentor with both the Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts. Her endorsements included, "She genuinely lives to help and doesn't see sacrifice as that. It's just who she is. Her positive outlook, confidence, easygoing nature, and tolerance for most of life's unexpected things drew me to her as a friend and a mentor." The jurors commented, "Sabrina has shown that she is a mentor not only to SDA, but in her community as well." We are honored to recognize Sabrina Hurd, FSDA, Class of 2020. And last, but certainly not least, Stephanie Kirschner, FSDA, is the owner, president of SLK Management Solutions, LLC, and the executive director of SDA. After working with several AE firms, Stephanie started her own firm, which provides management and consulting services to small AE firms. Her firm has provided management services to SDA for 7 years now. She's a founding member of the Cincinnati chapter and has served in several leadership positions, including president. She also started the local construction competition and served as its chair for 20 years. She's also the vice president and secretary of the Construction International Board, maintaining the liaison between SDA and construction. As national president, she fostered the creation of the Young Professionals YP Task Force and the Communications Committee. She also is a presenter of SDA's Biz Track Workshop for young professionals and presents at various AIA, AIAS, and SAME conventions. Her endorsements included, not only has she worked in the AEC industry, been a member of SDA, and risen to the highest level of leadership in the organization, she's passionate about SDA and the AEC industry, qualities of an SDA fellow. The juror commented, Stephanie embodies everything an organization desires in its member. She is passionate, dedicated, tireless. Does she have a twin sister? We are honored to recognize Stephanie Kirshner, FSDA, Class of 2020. We will share some other insights into each of these amazing fellows during our in-person investiture. So we hope that you all will plan to attend the next Ed Symposium and congratulate them in person if you haven't already had the opportunity to do so. Thank you, and congratulations to all three of you.
Yes, thank you, Sarah, and congratulations to our new fellows. All right, now let's welcome our National Certification Chair, Penny Nelson, to recognize our CDFA recipients.
Thanks, Brooke. The Certified Design Firm Administrator, or CDFA, is SDA's credentialing program for those who wish to demonstrate their expertise in key areas of AEC firm administration and management. Their passion for excellence drives them to pursue not just a job, but a rewarding career. They have demonstrated their knowledge in office administration and information technology, finance, human resources, marketing, and project administration and management. By taking the CDFA exam and committing to continuing education in these key areas, these CDFAs are also proving their commitment to the industry and to their professional growth. This core of knowledge makes them a valuable contributor to their firms. CDFAs enjoy increased marketability, increased earnings, greater career opportunities, and respect. I'm very proud of the number of people who stepped up this year to earn their certification. It's exciting for me to recognize these newly certified individuals. This year, we had Eliza Lowe, CDFA, Atlanta Chapter, Chris Andrea Clark, CDFA, Atlanta Chapter, Kathy Camacho, CDFA, Atlanta Chapter, Ashanta Langdon, CDFA, Atlanta Chapter, Jennifer Bellman, CDFA, Hampton Roads Chapter, Yuno Lee, CDFA, Seattle Chapter, Carol Wanda Spradlin, CDFA, Seattle Chapter, and Sheila Warham, CDFA, Member at Large. Congratulations. Stephanie will be contacting each of you to get you your current mailing address so that she can send you your CDFA pins. I would also like to take the time to thank the individuals who volunteered to proctor the exam for the candidates so that they could complete their CDFA requirements. They are Nancy Deloche, CDFA, Atlanta Chapter, Mary Jacobs, CDFA, Dallas Chapter, Stacy Rowland, CDFA, Seattle Chapter, and Brooke Simsick, CDFA, Dallas Chapter. Thank you all.
All right, thank you, Penny, and congratulations to all our new CDFAs on their new credentials, and thanks to all of our proctors. All right, now Nancy Deloche, our National Awards Committee Chair, will present the National Awards. Nancy, are you muted?
That was a good start.
Well, thank you.
You can hear me now, though?
Yes.
Thanks, Brooke. Membership milestones. Nothing is without its members, and member retention is an indicator of health within our organization. We recognize those members who have reached anniversary years and those chapters who have discovered the key to member retention. 5-year anniversaries. These are the newbies, and yet look how many leaders' names we already recognize from around the country. 10 years, 10-year anniversary. I recognize a few leaders from these members as well. I am definitely in good company at 10 years. The 15-year anniversary, congratulations to these 15-year members. I see 2 fellows among them. 20 and 25 years. These members know the value of SDA. Congratulations. 30 and 50 years. 30 years, Connie McKenna, Orange County, and 50 years, Susan Vestal, Seattle. It's hard for me to imagine this. This is quite a statement to these ladies and their investment in SDA as an organization. I'd love to sit down with Connie and Susan, and I bet they have some stories to tell. Moving on to chapter leadership. Every ship needs a captain, first mate, a navigator, a lookout, the crew, a team of leaders. SDA thrives on the vision, commitment, and often creativity of its chapter leadership. SDA has 15 chapters within the states, and of course, our SDA Canada affiliate. Chapter leadership, these are members who have done the heavy lifting over the past year, stepping up to guide our chapters and carry on the mission of SDA. From all of us, thank you for all of your service. Chapter anniversaries. I am honored to announce the milestone anniversaries of the following chapters. 35 years of excellence. Hampton Roads was chartered in 1985 with 11 charter members. 35 years of excellence. New York chapter in 1985 was chartered with 3 members. And with 55 years of excellence, Minneapolis St. Paul was chartered in 1965. Think of the history, the contributions to our industry and our communities, and the individual members that have been inspired because of these pioneering chapters within our organization. Congratulations. Stephanie will send you your proclamations in the coming week. National Committee volunteers. Like many organizations, there is a lot that goes on behind the curtain, so to speak. During this part of our presentation, we look behind the curtain to acknowledge those who serve on our national committees. These volunteers have a secret to share. Serving on a national SDA committee is a valuable opportunity for developing and showcasing their leadership skills and to learn more about the operations of SDA. For many, committee work serves as a foundation to build upon with the experience needed when seeking future leadership positions within SDA. The Awards Committee. It has been my pleasure to serve with these ladies. They have stepped up time and time again when ExCom asks us to tweak or modify or change, create or promote the award programs of SDA. And an example of that is this slide presentation. Thank you, Natalie Newman. You did an amazing job. The Bylaws Committee. Thank you, Betsy Nicholas, for chairing this committee and your members for their service. Bylaws and legalese, that's not my wheelhouse, so I really appreciate you. I mean, really. The Certification Committee. There is a lot going on behind this curtain. Penny Nelson serves as chairperson of this committed group. The SDA certification program is one of the most visual identifiers of our organization in the AEC community. This committee maintains the integrity of the CDFA. Thank you to each of you for your service on this committee. They are workhorses.
The Education Committee is SDA is education. This committee, chaired by Danica Larson, is the largest committee of all. They provide us with the resources through the Professional Emphasis Groups, or PEGs, on the national website. They also procure subject matter experts who present at our webinars, Ed Symposium, and Ed Connect. The Membership Committee, though they are small, they are mighty. The Membership Committee promotes membership growth for SDA by developing monthly campaign ideas and works to assist existing chapters to strengthen and grow to assist with membership retention. Sarah Furman chairs this committee. The Nominating Committee, as we've already seen, chaired by our current and past president, Susan Lanke. This committee is tasked with searching our membership roles and securing a slate of officers for the coming year's executive committee. It is not an easy task. And looking at those who just accepted their new roles, you did a great job. The Public Relations Committee, it's been a busy year for these ladies. We see their work everywhere: social media, websites, communications, and even here in this meeting. Fran and Liz and the entire committee have done an amazing job keeping it fresh for SDA. Thank you for your vision and your hard work. The Past President's Council, chaired by the current past president, Susan Lanke. This committee secures the funds for the PPC grants at Ed Symposium, ensuring opportunities for SDA members to earn a scholarship to help defray expenses for our annual conference. The Fellows Program, chaired by Sarah Wallace, is a relatively new and growing group. They are tasked with pushing SDA into new initiatives by providing education, programming, and resources. I can assure you there are no slackers in this group. They are courageous and inspired. The 2019-2020 Executive Committee. Thank you to this group of leaders. The challenges of this year have been many and uncharted, but through their experience and commitment, they have brought us to this point. It was a great year, Brooke, and your spirit of gratitude inspired us to do more and be more. And our Executive Director, Stephanie Kirshner. She's our shepherd, our counselor, our guide, our historian, our parent at times, our teacher, our administrator, and always our friend. There are so many things that Stephanie does for SDA that are not in her job description. Thank you, Stephanie. Now we move on to the fun part, the STAR Awards. The STAR Award recognizes chapter members and members at large for their service and dedication to SDA. These members have been nominated by their chapters or other SDA members. I regret I am not able to call you up to receive your pins, but alas, your STAR pins will be mailed in the coming week. Our first star is from Atlanta. This star has and will always remain one of the bedrocks of the Atlanta chapter. She has held every office and served on every committee during her tenure. Although she considers herself an advisor, she has many times over carried the weight of the chapter on her shoulders. The chapter has succeeded often because this star excels at pulling forth the absolute best in everyone around her. Her dedication to continuous personal and professional enrichment helps all those with her along the journey to succeed to greater heights than any of them thought possible. It is for these and many other reasons that Sarah Wallace is Atlanta's shining star. Congratulations, Sarah. Baton Rouge. Joining SDA in 2017, this member wasted no time stepping up to fill leadership roles when required, serving as a two-term president and director. Her knowledge, talent, and enthusiasm is demonstrated as she freely shares her vast HR expertise within the Baton Rouge chapter. She is a servant leader and puts the well-being of the chapter first. She excels at engaging new and longtime members to take on chapter organizational tasks and owns them. She is a highly effective communicator and extraordinarily organized. In a word, Sonia Miller is a star. Congratulations, Sonia. Like many stars, this member joined the Dallas chapter on all cylinders and has not stopped since. Integral in the success of Construction 2019, she is now the co-chair for 2020. Her fresh perspectives and excitement inspire other members. She has utilized her social media skills, enhancing membership development, recruiting, and programs, and she used SDA's power of networking to change jobs and gain a promotion within her first year of joining the Dallas chapter. You go, girl. Congratulations, Celeste. I knew I was going to stop here. I'm so sorry, Celeste. Eurushia, Dallas's Star Award winner for 2020. I made 4 phone calls about how to say your last name. Congratulations. Denver. This star has been a dedicated member of the Denver chapter. Has been a dedicated member of the Denver chapter for 19 years, contributing countless hours of her time and expertise to serve the chapter in many roles. She keeps the chapter informed and organized by coordinating meeting minutes, social media, bylaws, and staying active on the national forums. She is responsive, provides meeting space when it's needed, and is a willing mentor. She is a joy to work with and a pleasure to be around. Jennifer Hinckley Karninski, your chapter thinks you are a star. I agree. Congratulations. Hampton Roads. This star has been involved in SDA for a long time and is an SDA ambassador, spreading her passion for SDA wherever she goes. In 2020, she inspired Hampton Roads members by bringing great ideas for upcoming programs and creating ways to engage members. Lisa Jolly, you're in the spotlight. Congratulations on being selected as Hampton Roads Star for 2020. Minneapolis, St. Paul. This star has always been an active member of SDA, generously volunteering her time to help with numerous SDA activities, including 2 years on the construction committee and jury. In 2019, she served as president and even orchestrated a fundraising campaign from start to finish to earn her chapter over $1,000. According to the Minneapolis-St. Paul chapter, this star is always available to help, adds wonderful input and ideas, and is just plain fun to be around. Mary Jean Whalen, I agree with you. I agree with them. Congratulations on your Star Award. New York. According to the New York chapter, this member has been a star long before her nomination. As an emerging leader, her calm, under pressure demeanor, her ability and enthusiasm to rise to every and any occasion are just a few of the many attributes that make her star-worthy. She is currently the board secretary and member of the marketing and data management committees. Congratulations, Elena Gutierrez. You're officially a star. In Orange County. This star has dedicated numerous hours to her chapter for many years. Her commitment and leadership is a huge asset to Orange County. In the words of her chapter, she is the glue that holds us all together. She is a mentor for many and offers great advice both professionally and personally. She is a star on many levels, and I agree, this SDA member makes the world a better place. Betsy Nicholas, congratulations. You're the 2020 Orange County Star Award winner. Orlando. Steadfast, passionate, embraces challenge. These are a few of the characteristics of what makes a great leader. Orlando's star personifies all of these characteristics and more. As the Orlando chapter president for the last 2 years, she has been the driving force and shining star that all SDA members can look to. She demonstrates by example. If something needs to be done, she does it, playing a huge part in the development of the SDA Orlando chapter website. Under her leadership, SDA Orlando began offering virtual programs to all SDA members. Her passion for the industry and efforts to lift the Orlando chapter of SDA to the next level is what makes her so deserving of this recognition. She is a star in SDA. I agree, Cindy Gardner. You are a star. Thanks for all that you do. San Antonio, Texas. In her short time in this chapter, this star has been an active member, fully engaged in SDA, setting up her chapter for success. Improving San Antonio's reach in the AEC community is on her short list. She leads various committees with great communication, ideas, and organization. Using her design skills, she has redesigned the quarterly newsletter, created monthly networking invitations, facilitated membership events, and has been a driving force in chairing San Antonio's new sponsorship committee. She was a PPC recipient at Ed Symposium 19 and is in her second year as a board member, currently serving as our president-elect. If you have a seat at the table, you should use your voice. Belinda Sanchez has certainly made her voice heard and is most deserving of this year's San Antonio Chapter Star Award. Congratulations, Belinda. Seattle. As membership chair in 2019, Seattle gained 15 new members. A large part of that impressive growth was due to this star's implementation of coffee chats. He invited people to join him on one-on-one chats, whether it was a prospective member, a new member, or a current member. His personal touch established genuine relationship among Seattle's membership. In addition to his coffee chats, he had an important role in our quarterly Wine Wednesdays. He served as our wine enthusiast and expert. Seattle appreciates this quiet determination in helping their chapter grow toward its goals and vision, and with his dedication to the Seattle chapter. Kurt Wong, you are Seattle's shining star for 2020. Congratulations, Kurt. And from our members at large, this star has been an integral member of the SDA National Membership Committee for the past 5 years. Even though she did not have a chapter connection, she jumped in immediately and began to offer suggestions for membership recruitment and retention. She is one of SDA's strongest members when it comes to writing and editing copy for our campaigns. Her creative ideas have generated many campaign ideas. Outside of SDA, she stays busy with her involvement with the United Way and the American Heart Association and serves as a counselor for debt-free living. Congratulations, Gloria Jackson. You're a star. Congratulations to all of our deserving star members. Bunch of beautiful faces there and the servant hearts, I think, among them all. New this year, Replace is our Best in Class program, Best in Class awards. And replacing the Chapter of Excellence awards, the 2 Best in Class awards recognize excellence in educational program and membership campaign. We appreciate those chapters who submitted in this inaugural year, and we'll post all submissions on our national website so other chapters can benefit from the creativity and best practices displayed within. For that is what it's all about, guiding the way to success in chapter leadership. The Best in Class Program Award acknowledges a chapter's outstanding educational or professional development program. This year's winner is proclaimed by the our jury of AEC peers is San Antonio, with a program entitled Key Employment Laws to Protect You and Your Business. This chapter led the jury through the process of providing a program from beginning to end. It is full of best practices, and I encourage all chapter leaders to implement these best practices when developing your chapter's educational and program calendars in the future. Congratulations, San Antonio. It was an excellent submission and well-deserved. Best in Class Membership Campaign. The Best in Class Membership Campaign Award acknowledges a chapter's promotion of the growth of SDA. The inaugural Best in Class Membership Campaign is awarded to New York for their campaign entitled Annual Fall Membership Drive and Social. Not only was this event planned to introduce SDA and the New York chapter leaders to prospective members, it looked like it was a lot of fun. Congratulations, New York, for an excellent submission and some great ideas for all SDA chapters. And that concludes my part of the program.
Thank you, Nancy. And now our national past presidents, Susan Lanke, will present our GEM Awards to SDA members to show our appreciation to those members who have gone above and beyond in their service for SDA over the last year.
Hello again. Our first GEM Award is actually going to a chapter. It is the Hampton Roads chapter. They earned the GEM Award this year for hosting a BizTrack conference. They did change the style up a bit, providing 8 weeks of 2-hour sessions. And we would like to say thanks to the Hampton Roads chapter for being a guiding example to our chapters across the U.S. Our second GEM Award goes to the Seattle chapter. The Seattle chapter has earned the GEM Award this year for hosting not one, but 2 BizTrack conferences. They were able to host one in Seattle and one in Spokane. And we'd like to say thanks to the Seattle chapter for being a guiding example to our chapters across the U.S. as well. Our next GEM Award goes to Deborah Gill, FSDA. We'd like to present Deborah Gill with the 2020 GEM Award. Deborah had the I'm not even sure what you would want to call it. The fun part of presenting all 3 BizTracks to Seattle, Spokane, and Hampton Roads. We appreciate her continued support of SDA. She travels across the U.S. To present for us, and that's way above and beyond, and we always appreciate her time and efforts. So thank you, Deborah, for always being a guiding example to our members. Our next GEM Award goes to Sarah Furman. Sarah has been chairing the membership committee. She and her committee have done a great job on monthly campaigns, showing lots of creativity in the ideas that they've come up with and shared with both members and prospective members. They've really worked hard on coming up with new strategies and ways of connecting with new members and current members. Thank you, Sarah, for always being a wonderful example to our members. And I'm like Nancy, I'm sorry that I don't get to hand out pins in person. This part sucks, I'm not gonna lie. Our next GEM Award goes to Penny Nelson, CDFA. Penny took over the certification committee 2 years ago and has kept the momentum running. Between preparing sample questions and keeping the test manual up to date for the CDF exam, which is not an easy task, this committee is always busy. It's a constant stream of reviewing and making sure all data is correct. And for everyone on that committee, they know how very strenuous that is. Penny has done a wonderful job with her committee, keeping up with all this, and we would like to thank her for always being an outstanding example to our members. Our next GEM Award is for Nancy Deloach, CDFA. Nancy has chaired the awards committee for the past 3 years, I think, Nancy. She has done an incredible job each year with her committee, making all the awards happen and then presenting them at EDS, and of course this year virtually. She's done an awesome job at keeping everyone on task and making sure everyone on the committee feels involved and engaged. Nancy is a true asset to SDA, and we'd like to thank her for being such an amazing example to our members. And our last GEM Award goes to Marcia Witherspoon, CDFA. Marcia has served on ExCom for the past 2 years as National Treasurer, and I wish I could sum up how much I love Marcia. From her very first meeting with ExCom, she shone bright with her positive outlook and her willingness to jump right in and do whatever was necessary. And while she'll tell you that she has come out of her comfort zone to do all of her speeches and the writing that she's been responsible for, don't believe her. She's a complete natural. Marsha's one of the most sincere people I've ever met. She has been and always will be an inspiration to ExCom and all SDA members. So thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you, Susan. And guys, that's not quite our last Jim Award yet. I am honored to present to you our past president, Susan Lanke. You're a genuine, caring person, a professional that many of us aspire to be more like. I personally think you hung the moon. And in recognition of your inspiration, dedication, and loyalty by your service on the National Executive Committee as Secretary, Treasurer, President-elect, President, and past President, and an appreciation for being the true meeting of a guiding example to our members, we'd like to present you with the Jim Award. And I wish I was here to give it to you, so thank you so much. All right, it is now my pleasure to introduce this year's installing officer. Everyone, please help me welcome Melody Schultz, National Past President, who will install our 2020-2021 Executive Committee.
Thank you, Brooke. Am I talking loud enough? Can everyone hear me? It is now my honor and my privilege to install those officers who have been elected to serve and represent SDA and you during the 2020-2021 year. If you will unmute your line when I get to you, and then that way you can accept, and then I'll know to move on. For the office of Past President, Brooke Simsick, CDFA, Dallas Chapter. Brooke, you have over 20 years of experience in the AEC industry. You're passionate about family, professional commitments, and service to others. Your ambition is to have a successful life. You believe in building excellence within the limits of doing what is right and aim to surround yourself with those of great character, trust, ethics, and talent. My favorite Brooke memory is the year that you sat for your CDFA exam. I recall your nervousness as you awaited the score. I was beyond excited when I heard that you had passed, which allowed me to present you with your new CDFA lapel pin. Brooke, that infectious spirit of determination continues as you move into your new role. Your president will be counting on you to assume tasks that she deems you are best qualified for with your experience and expertise to advance the strategic plan. Do you promise to fulfill those tasks to the best of your ability?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. To the Office of Treasurer, Penny Nelson, CDFA, Orange County. Penny, you've been a member of SDA for 10 years, but attended your first SDA webinar 2 years before joining. You were your local chapter's president for 3 consecutive terms, and then served as the certification committee chair for 3 years. Must be something with that number 3, right? You share a love of the open water and sailing with your husband. Currently, you're learning to pilot your 34-foot trawler. Your recent first attempt at backing your trawler out of the dock nearly had you sailing alone without the captain of your vessel, your husband, as you accidentally left him standing on the dock. I know what they call you on the boat, so we won't go there.
She's good at math.
Your favorite part of boating is seeing the dolphins come beside the boat to play in the boat's wake. Penny, you bring that quality of enthusiasm to SDA as you assume the role of treasurer. SDA will look to you to maintain sound financial record keeping. Are you ready to perform the duties of treasurer as set forth in the bylaws? And in addition, are you willing to actively accept tasks assigned by your president to advance the strategic plan and promise to fulfill them to the best of your ability?
Yes, I am.
Thank you. The Office of Secretary, Ann McNeely, CDFA, Denver Chapter. Ann, you joined SDA in April of 2005. In your own words, you fell into the AEC industry in 1997 when you began work as a temporary receptionist for 2 architects and a fax machine. That culture stuck with you, and you've been immersed in it ever since. For the last 9 years, you've specialized in project management and design contracts at Fentress Architects. Although originally from Colorado, you never actually lived in Colorado until you and your husband arrived in 1995 and it's been your home ever since. Spare time may find you hovering over a stove as you love to cook, and something not all of our members know, you're a published author. And your devotion to SDA is obvious as you commit to serve SDA on the executive committee another year. Your responsibilities will be conducting the correspondence of SDA and retaining accurate records of the proceedings of SDA as directed by the president and the board, as well as performing all other duties as set forth by the bylaws. Are you willing to actively accept tasks assigned by your president to advance the strategic plan and promise to fulfill them to the best of your ability?
I am.
Thank you. For the office of Vice President, Kim Salenza, New York Chapter. Kim, you have over 15 years of experience in the AEC industry, working with such firms as HOK, HLW, and currently Perkins Eastman. You've been a member of SDA since 2014, where you've served your chapter as president for the last 3 years. Kim, you're a native New Yorker. You have a passion for cooking, for people, and more than a slight obsession with the great white shark. Kim, as vice president, you bring that same level of dedication to your new role on the executive committee. It will be your formal duty to assume the responsibilities of the president in the absence of the president and such other duties as set forth in the bylaws. Are you willing to actively accept tasks assigned by your president to advance the strategic plan and promise to fulfill them to the best of your ability?
I will.
Thank you. For the office of President-elect, Marie Tamala, CDFA, Minneapolis-St. Paul Chapter. Marie, you obtained your Bachelor of Arts degree in Music Performance and Business from the University of St. Catherine. You fulfill your passion for music by performing as a keyboardist and singer in a rock and roll band. Marie, I think that's the name of one of my favorite band's song, Moody Blues. You joined Cunningham Group Architecture in 2011, where you are currently an associate. Since 2015, you have been a project analyst. Marie, your passion for SDA and its members is obvious as you commit to another year of service on the executive committee. As president-elect, it is your duty to act as an assistant to the president in the administration of the affairs of SDA. You must always be ready to assume the responsibilities of president. You shall perform the duties, you shall perform the typical duties pertaining to the office of president-elect and any other duties as set forth in the bylaws. In addition, are you willing to actively accept tasks assigned by your president to advance SDA and promise to fulfill them to the best of your ability?
Yes, I will.
Thank you. For the office of President, Karen Roman, FSDA, Lead AP, Denver Chapter. Karen, my dear friend, what can I say about you? Where do I even start? I've often said I was so thankful to SDA for so many things, 2 of those being my personal and professional growth. But I am eternally grateful to SDA for bringing into my life those SDA members who have become my dearest besties over the years. How do I thank one of those SDA members who served me on ExCom during my national presidency, sharing her knowledge and expertise in areas where I desperately needed her vision? How do I thank this SDA member for her unwavering friendship and support, the amazing adventures, and trust me, there have been many, and I have the pictures to prove it. How do I thank her for all the laughs that she's brought into my life along the way? Karen, the lover of all things flamingo, thank you from the bottom of my heart. I continue to be in awe of you, your accomplishments, your quiet leadership style, your contagious sense of humor, but more than anything else, I'm so very proud of you. Karen, you're the business manager for Intergroup. Your position in Intergroup includes management decision-making, policy setting, and working with principals who have vastly different personalities and leadership styles. This has strengthened your ability to weigh options and really think things through, to prioritize, to stay on task, to avoid procrastination, and to work with many types of people. Karen, you are nearing your 30th year of SDA membership. Your first SDA convention was in Los Angeles in 1994, and to date you've attended over 20 conventions and conferences. Anytime that SDA has needed your service, whether a task or role at a local or national level, you've been there without fail. You've held board positions multiple times in the Denver chapter, not to mention your work on countless chapter committees. Nationally, you served on and or chaired the following committees: Education Services, Membership, Publications, Credentials, Project Management PEG, Ed Symposium, Leadership, Nominating, Bylaws, and Rebranding Task Force. You've achieved many designations throughout your professional career. However, your most recent and celebrated accomplishment was receiving your designation as a fellow during the class of the first fellows for 2018. You continue your work as a member of SDA's Fellow Committee. A decade ago, you began your first tour of duty on the Executive Committee, starting as Secretary and eventually serving 2 consecutive terms as SDA's National President. Your dedication to and love of SDA are further demonstrated today as you were sworn in as SDA's National President for your 3rd term. You believe in the value of an SDA membership and believe that it has been essential to your professional development and the largest contributor to increasing your industry knowledge. You bring with you to your latest role as SDA National President your vast experience and knowledge of business management of an AEC firm, as well as your prior service as SDA's National President. Karen, by electing you as President, the members have conferred upon you the leadership of SDA. You will preside at all meetings of SDA and the Board of Directors, serve as the administrative head, exercise general supervision over all its affairs, be the official representative of SDA, and perform all other duties as set forth in the bylaws. Will you accept the challenges and responsibilities inherent to the presidency, promise to abide by the bylaws of SDA, and perform all duties of your office to the best of your ability?
I will.
To everyone participating today, you have heard these elected officials pledge themselves to their responsibilities. I know that all of you will join me as we commit to assisting our new Executive Committee in fulfilling their responsibilities to SDA. And to our new Executive Committee, you have been elected to be an officer and a leader of your national professional organization. To be an SDA national officer is an honor and a privilege. It means going to meetings, giving freely of your time, and being optimistic in the future of your profession. It means you believe in what you're doing and expressing that belief by being a professional leader. May you accept your office not so much as an honor conferred, but as a responsibility to be carried out to the best of your ability. I declare you duly installed officers of SDA and ask you to assume your duties. And now, via the magic of our virtual connection, our past National President, Brooke Simsick, presents the National President's Pin to National President Karen Roman. And again, the magic of our Zoom connection, National President Karen Roman will present the past National President, Brooke Simsick, with her past National President's Pin and gift. And at this time, it is my extreme honor and pleasure to introduce our new past, let's start over again. It is my extreme honor and pleasure to introduce our new National President, Karen Roman, for the traditional President's Acceptance Speech.
Thank you so much, Mel.
You're welcome.
We're going to talk later because I warned you about making me emotional. Brooke, I want to take a minute to tell you how much I appreciate the leadership you demonstrated during your term. You really set me up for an easy time of it. And I hope you always remember and are always proud of how well you serve the organization. And by the way, it's thundering here, so I have a little girl in my lap that's just terrified out of her mind. And my arm has already gone to sleep. Up until this past January, I had only been to one zoo in about 35 years, and that's because we were in Singapore and we took the little granddaughter. And that was a whole different experience, not like zoos I'd ever seen. Growing up in the 60s in the Deep South, zoos were more depressing than anything else, just nasty. But then I found out that our Denver Zoo schedules personal encounters where you pay an additional fee and you get to interact with animals. There's all kinds of rhinos, not tigers, elephants, some birds, and you meet with their curator in a private setting. So my husband, daughter, son-in-law, and I were able to meet flamingos, including a baby. Oh, so in that picture, the two girls in the front are having a little bitch fight over food. And in the background, the little gray one, he's our first Chilean flamingo that imprinted with people. The other guys are all American flamingos. His name, the little guy's name is Legend. He's adorable. When we got to the zoo, we were met by a guide who took us on a kind of a private tour of several of the animal habitats, not inhabitants, and told us all kind of interesting facts about the animals and about the work that the zoo does. After listening to her for a couple of minutes, I realized that she was using one specific word in almost every sentence she said. Lions and tigers have tall wooden poles in their enclosures, and they hang food treats up high so that they have to jump. And so this gives them physical and nutritional enrichment. If geese land in the habitat and don't make it back out, that's accidental or unintentional enrichment. Throughout the zoo, the caretakers enrich animals' lives with, they have puzzle feeders, they hide their food to increase their curiosity and their physical enrichment. The habitats stimulate exercise with, they have boomer balls, they have empty beer kegs, tires to play with. They build scratching areas so like the animals that have really tough hides, they have a good way to scratch and just feel better, I guess. The curators, they spray scents like perfumes and spices and oils to pique their curiosity and increase activity for mental enrichment. And now I've read that because the zoo has been closed to the public for so long, the animals are sad because they miss seeing the visitors and interacting with them. So now they've temporarily lost social enrichment. SDA's reason for being is education. It always will be. But I believe that our mission goes beyond that. It goes to enrichment. And that's been so very clear to me over the past couple of months while we've worked through the new reality that's been handed to us. In April, SDA offered us 12 webinars at no cost. We have a COVID-19 resource page on the website. Headquarters started a First Friday coffee connection. I always want to call it a chat, where members can chat about anything and everything on their minds on the Zoom platform that we all love now. It's an opportunity to just catch your breath and say hello, maybe gripe about working from home or wonder what it's going to look like when we all go back. Chapters took that lead and now they're having coffee meetings. We have New York offering weekly roundtables on great subjects with an occasional happy hour thrown in. We have chapters hosting educational programs and actively inviting other chapters and members at large to join them. We have emails flying all over the country between members trying to work through the craziness that is the SBA PPP program. We have Social Link doing the same thing. So this is way more than education. To me, it's the embodiment of enrichment. I love seeing this happen in our organization, and I expect to watch and continue to participate as it grows even greater. We're really showing who and what we are, and we will continue our enrichment beyond education. So, and now for the part that everybody waits for every year. We really don't know what the future of conventions is going to look like for any organization. Meeting virtually may be the new norm for all of us going forward. But assuming that we can meet live and in person next year, and please don't let me mess this up, I'm happy to tell you that EDS 21 is planned for somewhere sunny and warm, somewhere near the water, somewhere with lots of places to explore. Get ready for it. San Diego, California.
Yay!
June 10th through 12th, 2021. And I absolutely look forward to seeing everyone there. And Steph, I'm all done. It's back to you.
All right, thank you, Karen. In just a minute, I will stop the recording and we can have a good conversation about San Diego. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody in San Diego too. So I'm going to close out this portion of our program. I want to say thank you to all of our volunteers, our outgoing 2019-2020 Executive Committee. Congratulations to all the new Executive Committee coming on board. Enjoy your journey of leadership in SDA. Thanks to everybody that's participated today on this virtual meeting. I know it's not how we would like it to have been, but I feel like it went pretty well. I wish you good health. We look forward to seeing you in San Diego next June. For those of you who can stay and connect and celebrate with us, we'll take time to grab whatever beverage of choice or whatever you need to do. I'm going to stop the recording in just a second, and if you have to disappear on us, we understand. Otherwise, have a great week, and thanks for joining us.